us to sort of go over the college process, how it works, answer some questions you might have, and yeah, basically just go along this way. So I'm joined today by Victor. So Victor is the head of our international programs. My name is Sam. I'm the director of soccer at Select Generation. Focus a bit more on the college side. And then today we've got Alex Horveno, who is an assistant at Kaiser University over in Palm Beach, Florida. So he's going to be on the call at the start, sort of give a quick intro and give you a couple of tips. So with that being said, Vic, do you want to say anything sort of starting off?
Yeah, not much. Honestly, thank you so much, everybody, for having us today. I really appreciate your time. I'm currently in Spain right now. We are bringing some players from the US to my hometown, so that is one of the reasons why I'm here. I'm very excited for this. I hope you guys learn some tips and you guys get some advice from Urbano too.
Yeah, awesome. Cheers for that, Vic. So yeah, Alex, go ahead and let you introduce yourself. So Alex is currently the assistant at Kaiser University in Palm Beach, Florida, like I said. So Alex, I'll let you take it away.
Hi guys. Yes, here Alex. I'm from France. I came in the US 6 years ago, and I play like college for 4 years in West Virginia and then Florida. I just started at Kaiser, one of the best NAIA program in Florida. So yes, it's my second season as a coach in college. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm here to help you, and also I'm here to help you to understand the process, how it works. So feel free to ask me anything.
Yeah, Alex, appreciate that. And then just to sort of kick off, Alex, obviously during the full season, you're very busy, you've got a lot of games going on. How do you recruit during the full season in terms of a busy schedule? And then what makes a player stand out? Is it like their highlight reel? Is it the way they sort of email you or you see them at a game? Like, how are you recruiting during a busy full schedule and what makes a player stand out?
So how it works for us, it's like during the fall. So we have a lot of new players coming in the beginning of the season. So we have to see how it works with the team, and then we just found out what we need for the next season. We still have like some conversation with players during the fall, but as you said, it's pretty busy. Like we have a first and second team, so it's like little games. We have 28 games in 2 months, so it's pretty busy for us. But we just see what we need for the next season. Then we start the process more like starting in November, December once we are done with the season. Then we have like some discussion with some players. So we have some players who wants to stay, some player who wants to leave. And according to that, once we have a better idea about the next year roster, we like start to talk with agency like Select Generation and see if we can have like any players fit for different positions. I know, for example, right now we are looking for a striker, for right back, for left back. So we are going to start to talk with some agents from different places, like different country in Europe, South America, even in the US, to see what they have for us. And then once we are like we like a profile, we start the discussion with the players and the families directly.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for that feedback. So
Yeah.
yeah, Alex will hang around for a little bit, but I know he's a busy man. He's probably got to leave. So if any parents or players are interested, I can pass on Alex's contact info to if you have any questions. But yeah, no, it's a Sunday for everyone. It's 10 o'clock where I am, but it might be just after lunch for a lot of you. So can everyone see my screen? Of the
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, guys. So yeah, let's get into it. So again, the purpose of the call today is basically to give you guys at the start of the full season a little bit of prep for what you should be doing. If you're a sophomore, perfect. You got a head start. If you're a junior, this is sort of going to be a good informative call for you. And if you're a senior, obviously the process is kind of getting to crunch time, decision time now. So hopefully we can answer some questions and, like I said, be a resource. So today we'll go through how you should be preparing for showcases, if you're going to ID camps, organizing your profile, getting a head start, emailing coaches, video tips, next steps, and then, like I said, we'll have a Q&A at the end if anyone has any questions. If you do have questions, please write them down, and we'll wait till the end of the presentation. So then that way we can kind of get through this and get all the information out at the start. So the first thing I want to talk about today is showcase and ID camp prep. So during the fall, I mean, at least at the start of the fall, there's not a lot of showcases. There's not a lot of ID camps, but getting towards the end of the fall, there is going to be camps. And I'm sure, as some of you know or have been to, getting ready for a camp can be a stressful process, right? So how you should prepare for showcase and ID camps: you should be emailing the coaches your schedule and what to expect at a game or tournament, right? You need to be proactive at the event. So all the players, most of the players, if you're proactive and you're organized, you'll email the coach your schedule, say, hey coach, I'm going to be at this field at this time, right? But are you actively looking after your game? Who was there? Are you actively looking before the game? Who was there? After your game, are you going to the coach saying, hey coach, did you watch me play? Introduce yourself, shake his hand, right? There's a lot of players that are emailing coaches, but they're not proactive with it. So what I mean by that is, in person, are you going up to the coach and shaking their hand? As a college recruiter, someone that's talking to a lot of players, the players to me that stand out are the ones at the field who really come to you and make an obvious effort to say hello and to introduce themselves. I know for a 16, 17-year-old, it might be a bit daunting, but parents, players, if you're at an event and you see a coach, go up to them, shake their hand and introduce yourself, right? You got nothing to lose. If you have that face-to-face contact at the showcase, at the ID camp, that's massive. You're one step ahead of the game. And then also asking your coach at the showcase, like, hey coach, I know you're coaching my team, I know you're busy, do you know if anyone's coming? What do I need to bring, right? I said on social media a couple of weeks ago, the best thing to do is ask questions, right? The college process, there's a lot of questions. You don't know what to do. This person's telling you one thing, this person's telling you another thing. The biggest help you can be to yourself is asking questions and being proactive to the people around you, like your coaches, like your team manager, even your friends at the event who might be talking to coaches that's coming along. So just showcase ID camp prep, obviously pre-event, emailing, schedules, and then during event is the most thing, shaking hands, introducing yourself and whatnot. Post-event, following up, texting, emailing. It's going to be a lot easier if you've, at the in-person event, gone, said hello and introduced yourself. Okay, and then the next thing is organizing your profile. So I know a lot of you on this call are working with us, so your profile is really important, and we kind of take care of that on the back end and clean that up with your video and whatnot. But the main thing with your profile, if you're using other sites or other companies, is make yourself easy to contact, right? So how's the coach going to find you? Is it clear on your video a point of contact, right? Is it an email that is footy star or soccer baller 123, right? Is it a professional email that you'd be happy to introduce your parents to? So point of contact is massive. If you put a phone number somewhere and it's incorrect by a digit, or we get a lot of emails where we'll send an email and it will say undelivered because the storage unit is the iCloud storage is too big, or a Gmail with the point in the wrong place, right? Like really focus on small details, getting your info right, making yourself easy to contact and easy to reach out to. Highlight video, really important, guys. I stress this all the time. If you haven't got a highlight video, you're very limited to going to ID camps, going to showcases, and just hoping that someone comes and watches you. If you don't have a video, you're likely not going to play anywhere out of state or open up any of those doors, because I mean, no coach is gonna offer you a scholarship if they've come to see you one time and they haven't got a highlight video to reference it. And again, obviously a highlight video is massive, making sure that's really good, making sure that's really professional, making sure you got a cover screen with your info. A lot of the coaches, they'll watch videos of a good player and they'll go, okay, I like him, let me schedule a call with him. But then they find out on the call his GPA is not there, he doesn't want to go out of state, he isn't playing at a certain level, or so having a cover screen to sort of ask those preliminary questions is super important on your highlight reel. And then specific information, right? So, like I said on the cover page, what do you need to tell the coach that your video isn't going to tell? On your cover page, if you want to say I was all American this, or all state, or captain of my team, or this, that's important information that the coach should know. And obviously they're not going to know if they're just watching your film. So those are three big things when you're organizing your online profile. And also we get a lot of questions about, should I have an Instagram that's specific to soccer? Should I have a Twitter? I mean, obviously if you've got extra time, those are great, but it's much more important to focus on your academics, your practice schedule, and getting your highlight video sorted than having a Twitter account that shows your videos, having an Instagram account that shows your videos. That's all great stuff. It can be a good resource, but the majority of coaches aren't recruiting off Twitter and Instagram. So getting a head start. So these are the sort of things that we should be focusing on. So who you know. Is your coach connected with some NCAA or NAIA coaches, junior college coaches? Do you have a friend who played at this school who you talked to and said, oh, they need a winger or they need a goalkeeper? These are some important things, obviously, who you know that can get you well connected and have you sort of at the top of people's lists. It's much easier to reach out to a coach via their phone number than via their email, if you can get a hold of phone numbers. Asking questions. Do you go to your coach and you say, hey, coach, I have a question about the NCAA process. How do I get onboarded? What's my NCAA ID? What should I be doing in preparation for this specific ID camp? Or, hey, coach, I'm playing my game today. What can I improve on? Simple things like that, right? Don't go home and think, oh, I wish I asked my coach this, or oh, I wish my, or if you do go home, text your coach, right? Ask lots of questions. Highlight video, like I just said, very, very important. If you don't have a highlight video, it's going to be very difficult. It's important to get a good quality highlight video edited, split it into sections, etc., things like this. And then with the school, do you know what school you're applying to? Are you going somewhere just to play soccer and you'll pick a major once you get to the school? Do you want to do a major that the school requires a 4.0 GPA to go to? Do you go to a school like my school at Catawba? We had a $2,500 environmental scholarship. Are you interested in studying things to give you a better scholarship? Like, these are all sort of questions you should be.
I was going to give you this video to read.
So these are all sort of questions for when you're applying to the schools. What you should be doing your homework and learning out about their different majors and whatnot, so that when you go to meetings with the coach, you've done your homework and he shows you're really interested in the school. Okay, so a big one is emailing coaches. So I'm sure, well, I know a lot of you have been emailing coaches and that's been your primary point of contact. Obviously phone numbers are hard to go by. Email is mostly on the website. So a few little tips for how to email coaches. If you don't have a highlight video, do a highlight video and then email the coach, right? Because if you're emailing coaches without a highlight video, it's going to be very difficult to introduce yourself, and you're 99% of the time going to get, okay, come to our ID camp so we can see you play, because they don't know. So if you're starting the process, number one tip, do a highlight reel and then get to work on emailing coaches. I know it's frustrating for a lot of parents and players. You email the coach, hey coach, come to my game. Here's my video. What do you think? And they just send you the generic, come to the ID camp. So ways to stand out. I think if you can ask potent questions, like, for example, if you send, hey coach, my name is Sam, I play right back, here's my video, I've got a game this weekend if you're available. If not, can you please take a look at my highlight video and let me know what you think? Hey Sam, thanks for the email, come to our ID camp so we can see you play. Okay coach, thanks for your time. What did you think of my highlight reel? Did you see any good moments, any moments I can improve on? Right, and you'll kind of see the gauge there. Is he interested in me, or did he just invite me to ID camp for $300 or whatever it is? And then another thing, the biggest thing which players don't see is CC all of the assistants on the website, right? If you just email the head coach, imagine how many players are just emailing the head coach. If you're emailing all of the coaches, the volunteer assistant might get picked up, the associate head coach, the assistant, the GA, right? on most college websites, they'll have 2 or 3 assistants, and the head coach 99% of the time will be like, oh, okay, I'll just forward this to the assistant. But obviously, if they forget or they don't do something, you'll get lost. The head coaches get so much traffic, and the assistants, most of the time, are there at practice, obviously, to, you know, run the training sessions, do all the admin, monitor emails coming in, and the head coach is, you know, preparing the game, the logistics and all of that stuff. So number one tip for me, emailing coaches, is CCing all of the assistants so you don't get missed. So no, I know I talked a lot about highlight videos. So just to give you some tips, the ideal length for a highlight reel would be about 3 to 6 minutes. If it's anything short of that, it's going to be difficult to kind of gauge how you're playing. If it's anything over 6 minutes, it's going to, you know, be long to watch. And most of the times when college coaches are reviewing video, they'll ask for your highlight reel up front. And then if they like it, they'll say, okay, can you please send me a full 90 minutes? So make sure you have access to a full 90 minutes. Like for me, when I was getting recruited to play Division 2, Division 1 soccer, it was, okay, highlight video, great. Have a schedule a call, great, get to know him. Okay, send me a full 90 minutes so I can see your body language on the field. I can see the level of the game. I can see, you know, what positions you're picking up without the ball. With a highlight video, obviously, you're just going to see the best things. But make sure you have a full 90 minutes that that you can upload and speak to coaches about, and they can have a look. Another thing from a visual perspective, what do the coaches want to see? Do they want to see you dribbling 10 players and then you pass the ball to your teammate and he skies it and he doesn't know what he's doing? Do they want to see you, you know, a keeper passing you the ball by a mistake and you scoring a goal? If that's one of your best clips, great, but really be careful about using the best clips in the highlight video. You don't want videos where you're playing on a rubbish field and the level isn't great, and you know you do a nice movement, but it'd be much better if you were playing in your club game or on a nice field where it looks better. And kind of just being smart about what clips to use. You know, if you're looking at a video and the ball's bouncing everywhere, the quality's not great. Like I said, if that's the only 3 minutes you have, okay, you can start with it, but really focus on getting better quality clips. If you're going to an away game and you know the field's amazing, hey coach, have we got a VO? Have we got a trace recording this game? Are we going to be able to get highlight video? That's really important. And then transitions, is it just clip to clip? Is there some transitions? Are you circling yourself? Can the coach easily see who you are? Is it split up into sections? Things like that. And then cover page, like I said earlier, important info. What do I see? What do I need to know about you that I can't see from the video of you? Are you a captain? Are you playing for the best team? Are you the MVP? Have you got any awards? What did you win last year, right? These are all important things you can put on your homepage. And then making sure you've got an easy point of contact there. So next steps with coaches in terms of where you are now. So what was your last interaction with your coach? Are you tracking who you're talking to? Have you got a spreadsheet where it's, okay, Lenore Ryan College, Mars Hill, Kaiser University, FIU, UC Santa Barbara, Stanford, all of these coaches, right? Do you have easy points of contact where, you know, your mum or your dad or your son asks you, hey, last week you spoke to that coach, how did you leave it? Or what status are you in? Or last month, didn't you go to that ID camp and he said he liked you, right? You should be tracking these things. You should have a spreadsheet where it's like, okay, last point of contact, what do I need to do? What's his email? What's his phone number or her phone number and her email? And then making sure it's easy to track, because these connections get a bit lost sometimes. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you have been like, oh yeah, he was really interested, and then I didn't hear from him for a while. Was he expecting a phone call from you? Was it your job to send him a full 90 minutes and whatnot? So making sure you're tracking that. Making sure you got your list of target schools. It's always better to start earlier than later, in terms of, you know, who you want to contact, where you want to go to, or are you just, hey Sam, I just want to go and play college soccer. I don't really know anyone. Can you go and find some schools for me? All right, that's totally fine. But big communication thing there. And then most importantly, what are you going to do, right? What are you going to do to get yourself a college offer? No coach is going to come up to you in the game and say, oh, I like the way you play. Yeah. you should apply to the school. Don't worry, we'll take care of your application for you. Please send me some more film. You know, these are things that you need to do and stay on top of your process. All right. I know for players, it's very difficult. You know, during the fall, you got your academics, you got your club practice, you might have school practice, you got showcases on the weekend, tournaments. You know, it's a long process. So at Select Generation, whatever we can do to take that away, like your highlight reel, like talking to some coaches, that's kind of what we're about. But at the same time, what are you going to do to be proactive? Are you on top of things? And are you tracking interactions with schools? So with us here, so this is sort of the main points of contact here. Victor, I don't know why you changed your name to Danny, but so this is myself and Victor. So I'm the director of soccer. Victor is the head of international programs on the call now. So we have a couple of others that you would have probably spoke to, like David on the video, Catalin. We have a couple of other recruiters that are going to tournaments and such. But I mean, a lot of you know my point of contact already, but here it is. And yeah, I know I've spoke a lot, but Victor, you want to just hop in quick and say something?
Just, I mean, it was pretty complete, honestly. I don't know what else I can add, honestly. Something that I really like from the PowerPoint, from the video presentation, was how well you were explaining in terms of the highlights video, how important is the highlights video. Because sometimes when you see the highlights video is 3-4 minutes, or other players, when you watch them, I mean, they're like 8 or 10 minutes. And honestly, from the coach's point of view, what we need to do is especially focus on the first few minutes so they can catch your attention. And also, when you are watching video, just, how do you say, like, for example, let's say a coach needs a center back that is tall, very good in the air, really good from the build-up, you know. So if we can have those features from the first few minutes in the video, that is fantastic. If not, probably this coach is gonna be like, okay, next, I'm gonna see other video. So sometimes, even though you think this player is really good, you also need to fit in the coach's perspective, you know. That is also one of the things that I will add here, because you see a lot of players that are playing MLS Next, or they won this tournament, this big tournament or whatever. They have these fantastic stats, and then you see them that they don't fit in the coach's point of view. For example, a winger, you see this very good in 1v1, but then if the coach is playing a 4-4-2 formation, you know, sometimes a winger is not that good. You need another player that is better defensively, you know, with a defensive mindset. So that is also another thing that I want to add, you know, like whenever you see or you believe that you have really good qualities as a player to fit in this school, you know, sometimes it doesn't depend on your quality level and how far you have reached in nationals in next tournament. You know, it also depends on the coach's point of view and how they want to play it, how they want to play in that style. You know, so yeah, that's another thing I wanted to add.
Good. Thank you. So now I'll open it up for a Q&A. If anyone has any questions, happy to answer those. But yeah, I mean, at Select Generation, I think a lot of you know we're trying to help our players. We're trying to be a good resource, trying to make connections. So here's some of the stuff we offer, like being a Select Generation athlete, some showcases we've had. You know, we obviously get commitments to schools, visits. We run ID camps and showcases, but we really want to work with the top level player to send them to coaches and colleges. So yeah, I'll open it up. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to help. It's going to be silent now. Watch. Was anyone listening?
So I put my contact information in the chat, so feel free to use them whenever you want to reach out to me.
Okay, awesome, perfect. Yeah. Everyone, if you see in the meeting chat, Alex Orveno, So he's the assistant at Kaiser University. Edward, I see your message in the chat here. The appropriate moment to head over to communication to coaches. So for us, like when we're talking to coaches, it's a lot of calling, it's a lot of emailing. So if we're pretty flexible, right, in terms of when you're talking to coaches. If you are talking to coaches and you're happy, you're comfortable, but you're not really getting that like offer, it's more, okay, yeah, just hold on, let us see, let us wait. I think you can say, hey, Sam, hey, Victor, I'm talking to this coach, he's really interested, but I need a little bit more to get the offer over the line. So that's when we can kind of step in and say, hey, coach, I know you're speaking to Stephen or Jacob, how's it going? He's interested, he's talking to this school and this school. What can we do to get it over the line? What can we do to get him that offer? That's kind of where we can help. If you've taken it so far that you're comfortable and you've had great interaction, that's great. But yeah, if we've sort of initiated the process, then we'll be in contact with the coach. But it is really up to the player and the family to discuss scholarships and discuss offers. But then, like I said, if you're at that point where it's they're telling you they need more time, or they're telling you to go to an ID camp, that's when you can say, look, Sam, Vic, can you please step in and see what they're really thinking, right? Because they say to me, listen, Sam, yeah, he's a great lad, he's good, but I'm looking at this player, or I'm not sure about him because of this, right? That's where we can step in and help. So yeah. Any other questions? No? Well, everyone, I hope you had a good time. I hope that was a good resource. Like I said, you will have my contact info, email, phone number, social media. Feel free to reach out. At Select Generation, we're about bettering our players. We want to see our players get committed. Like I think all of you know, we don't just work with anyone and everyone. We just want to work with the better players. So if if you need a bit of help, if you're confused at the moment, if you're at a good place, whatever, just let us know. Stay in touch. At the moment, kind of like Alex said, coaches are still trying to figure out what they need, who's their best player, who isn't playing very well, that they need a new spot. So, college recruiting comes in ups and downs. Don't feel like you haven't received anything this week, so it's the end of the world. There's highs and lows, and there's a lot of seasons with college recruiting. But the biggest thing for us, guys, is be proactive. Don't be afraid to ask questions. No question is a silly question. Be proactive, do what you can. Don't feel like you didn't do enough this week. Stay on top of things. Make sure you're having a good time with your club, with your high school. Stay on top of your soccer, stay on top of your grades. Make sure that it's, the reason I can't connect you with a school isn't your GPA. Please stay on top of your grades. And then any questions or anything you have, guys, feel free to reach out.